Oh boy. Good morning. Here we are again,
Yeah, good morning,
talking
Betsy.
about love this morning. And so, how did this
Come about.
conversation? Yeah.
Well, I think it started because we got frustrated looking around the world at all of the tension and all of the disagreements and all of disharmony between people. And it exists as much in this country as any place. Right now, if you look at the political,
Landscape. Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
landscape, I mean,
Yeah.
people just dislike each other so much. There's so much tension. And it's also between countries. And
Mm.
so we've got created
Yeah.
this worldview that is actually so disheartening that most people feel like, well, I don't know if most people, but lots of people are very frustrated with it and feel like this is not the way to live. There must be a better way to
Mm.
live. And
Mm.
that's why we picked this topic of love and becoming love.
Yeah, I'm really challenged with it.
Yeah,
At times in particular, I have a friend who is really politically on the opposites,
yeah,
kind of
right.
perspective as myself, and I have constantly to be aligning myself so that what I see in her is the light within and not
Okay,
the external political, um, what I consider nonsense, but what she considers very real and right. So somehow getting beyond the dialogue to the heart of each person, which we share, um, it's an opportunity right now.
right. So then one of the questions becomes, how do you create this new environment, and what place does love play in it? And one of the problems is that if you start off with the idea that love means how you feel about your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, or your child, and you start thinking, well, how do I apply that to everyone? If we have to do this and we have to love each other, well, then that would sort of mean that all of those kinds of loves, because that's really what we know. We know the love of a parent or a child. And how would we apply that to everyone? And what happens is that you can't. And then immediately you'll start saying, well, wait, I can't love uh, this person the same way I love my kid, or I can't love this person, that person, the way I love my brother or sister. It doesn't work. So there must be another way of doing it. There must be another answer to it. There must be another way of becoming love so that you can actually be different with everyone. And if all of us started doing that same process, we could be different with each other. So, how do we get there?
Good question, especially since you don't have a sister.
Right, no sisters. I have brothers. I have brothers. So, so anyway, what I would say is that we spend a lot of time learning to meditate. And the premise of meditation is that there is something inside each of us that is special. And that connection inside us is a connection to what we call source. Some people call it God, some people call it whatever they want to call it. But it's a source energy of some form. And that source energy, we also believe, is a love-based energy.
But you just said something really interesting. The first thing you said was there is something within in each of us that is a source of love that we all share. And it's not outside of us, it's inside of us.
Right.
So when you think of connecting with source energy, it's not something that's coming from outside in.
No.
When you talk of higher self, it's not something that's separate from you and it's up there and you're striving to get there. It's all within, and it's our perceptions that keep us or allow us to think that there's some separation, that there's something from outside that is coming in to change us. And it's not. It's just what we allow ourselves to understand, experience, and feel.
Right, exactly. And if that premise is right, this is an important premise, that the source is love and that we have that source inside us, but we don't see it on a day-to-day basis. We don't experience it on a day-to-day basis. we are saying yes, love and light are in our hearts, and that if we could somehow expose that love and light more, then we would be creating a world, if everybody did it, where there would be more light and more love, and that automatically disarms all of the negativity. The hatred goes. It can't be there at the same time love is there.
Yeah, I love the way you express that, expose the love. I mean, what a concept. So it's not something that comes from without. It's exposing what's within.
Right.
And so the process of meditation is really that process of, just taking time every day. If you use that as a tool, there's a lot of tools, but that's one of them.
Yes.
And use a little time every day to expose more and more each day.
Right. So now, exactly.
That's cool. I really like that.
Yeah, so the question is, though, there are a lot of different types of meditation, as an example. And there are other tools.
Yeah.
All of it is based on the idea that the mind does have to calm down in order to really focus one-pointedly on the heart. So if we say we're going to experience the heart and the love in the heart and the light in the heart, we've got to get a mind that will go to that place and stay there.
Or a mind that will be quiet enough so that you can hear and feel what's in the heart.
Yes, that's exactly right. And the interesting thing is, though, that what makes the mind go in all the directions it goes? Well, past experiences, what we call samskaras, which is a word that means impressions and strongly held beliefs and other strong attachments. Those things pull the mind in a direction. It can pull my mind in any direction at all just because I believe that, or I have an attraction to that.
Like you believe the world is flat.
Yes.
But at a certain point, we changed our perception about that. It used to be a reality.
Yeah, it did.
For a lot of people.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
We're
so
in
we can change.
New time. Yeah, fortunately, it's the age of Aquarius, and
Yeah.
people are opening up.
Yeah.
They are trying to think of other ways of looking at life. So to go back to the meditation piece, there is a meditation that we both have experienced called Sahaj Marg, Natural Path. It's also now called Heartfulness. The reason why that's important is because if you want to become love, and if the light and love is in the heart, but it's covered up like a cocoon, like it's got a whole bunch of different layers around it, then that means that the layers would have to be unwound, or like an onion, taken apart, so that you can see what's in there. So how does one do that? How do we get to the point where the source in there is revealed, and is not just revealed once, but comes out and stays there all the time? Well, it's not going to work unless we can figure a way to clear away all of those things that we have strongly held on to, that we still strongly hold on to, that cover that source light. So how do we do it?
Well, there's a lot of ways.
Yeah, but we know one really good way.
Yeah, and awareness is one. Meditation is one.
Right. But what I wanted to get to was that actually doing it on your own is not so easy. It's like if I now sit down and I say, well, I'm going to let go of my strong attachment to my belief that the world is flat. It doesn't happen so easily. It's just, I believe it strongly, so it's part of me. And if it's part of me, then that's how I think it is. So you need some help. You need some way that you can have help in getting the mind focused on something else, and letting go of things that don't really represent who you are. Because if I'm really this, meaning this light inside, well then I'm not that, I'm this. So it means that as I have to let go of that in order to become and see this. You see? So how do you let go of all that stuff? No, this is why this is why transmission, what we call transmission, utilizing the divine energy, the divine source, which we mean is source energy, to remove and dissolve all of those strong attachments. You gotta resolve them, you need help. So find a practice that has transmission. Source energy can be sent into the person's heart. It can dissolve the layers, and the more the layers and the layers can be dissolved, and you can see what's there. I know it works because I've done it for so many years, and the only reason I keep doing it is because every time I receive this transmission or experience this transmission, I go deeper and deeper inside.
Yep, that's the thing.
Right?
Yeah, I know. It's something to experience.
Yeah, so we have a way, we have a method. It's actually like a formula. I was thinking about this earlier. It's like a mathematical formula. You do this and you do this and you get that. You know, there's an A plus B equals C. There really is. What's the A? So, well, the A is meditation. And the B is practice. And the C is the outcome.
Yeah, well, that's another whole thing to talk about, because I think, you know, as we exist in this life, which is, you know, you can't be too formulaic, because then you can lose touch with, you know, the life, the vitalness of the process.
True.
So formula is good, I think, to get started, and then there's a point that you launch from that formula, and, you know, because love is not formulaic.
No. We're not. No, I agree, and we're not talking about love being formulaic. What we're saying is that it does require a certain discipline in order to get a result. It's like if I said to myself, you know, I want to let go of those you know, strongly held beliefs, but I really won't take much effort to do it. I won't try hard to do it. I won't do anything to really make that happen. Well, it won't happen.
Right. So I guess if part of your process is an effort to dissolve the boundaries that are framing your perspective or perception of what reality is for you, like the world is flat, or you know, this religion or that political belief or whatever. So if dissolving those boundaries is part of the process for going deeper and, you know, to what unites us, then I don't know, a formula, I guess, for the beginning process is there. But then
no, it actually takes some effort. That's what I'm saying. It takes some effort and some work, which is a practice of some sort.
Right. So eventually it's like the resonance of that light within becomes what guides you and not the formula.
Absolutely. In fact, this is why we started with the idea of becoming love.
Right.
Because if love is in there and I can dissolve some of those complexities around it, some of those strong beliefs and so forth, then that love that's in there will become part and parcel of who I am. So now, instead of being John, the person with all the complexities, it'll become John, but with less complexities and more love and more light. And the beauty of it is, it has nothing to do with the way we think of love. It isn't a love that is like directed at a specific person.
Conditional, you mean?
Yeah, or at a specific person. Like we think, you know, I love my spouse, I love my wife.
Oh boy.
But this is like the sun shining. The sun shines equally on everything. It doesn't choose. It doesn't say I will shine only on that tree or that tree and not this. When you remove those complexities, and you remove that attachment, and you get closer to that source light, that light and that love that's inside there shines on everything equally. And that's how you get out of the boundaries that we're in as a society.
Well, what a happy thought.
Yes. Hopefully we can do it. I know we can.
I think that's a nice place to end this.
Okay, let's end it here.
Okay.
Thank you.